The conventional advice for people with diabetes to simply avoid bread, rice, and potatoes is not only unsustainable, but also unnecessary. The key to metabolic health is not elimination, but strategic management. By understanding how food interacts with our biology, we can make simple yet powerful changes to flatten glucose spikes, improve insulin sensitivity, and protect pancreatic function. Here are the science-backed strategies in detail. 1. Harness the power of resistant starch. The science. Most starches are broken down rapidly into glucose in the small intestine, causing a swift rise in blood sugar. Resistant starch, as the name implies, resists digestion. It travels to the large intestine, where it acts as a prebiotic, fermenting through the action of your gut microbiota. This fermentation process produces short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, most notably butyrate. Butyrate is a crucial compound that enhances insulin sensitivity. It helps your body cells respond more effectively to insulin. It reduces inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a key driver of insulin resistance. Strengthens the gut lining. It serves as the primary fuel for the cells lining your colon, promoting a healthy gut barrier. Practical application. The cool and reheat method. The process of cooking, cooling, and reheating starchy foods triggers starch retrogradation. When starchy foods like potatoes, rice, and pasta are cooked and then cooled, the gelatinized starch molecules realign and form crystalline structures that are much harder for your digestive enzymes to break down. Procedure. After cooking, allow the food to cool completely. For optimal effect, refrigerate it at around 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius for about 24 hours. You can then reheat it before eating. Studies show that this method can significantly increase the resistant starch content, leading to measurably lower post-meal glucose and insulin levels. Example: cook a large batch of rice for dinner, cool the leftovers, and use them for lunch the next day after reheating. Incorporate naturally high RS foods. Integrate these into your regular diet. Legumes: beans, lentils, chickpeas, whole grains, oats especially raw and muesli, barley seeds and nuts, green, raw, bananas, plantains, raw potato starch as a supplement, certain cooked and cooled foods, potato salad, sushi rice. 2. Master the art of food pairing and sequencing. The principle of naked carbs. Eating carbohydrates in isolation, like a piece of bread on an empty stomach or a glass of fruit juice, is a recipe for a sharp glucose spike. The solution is to always dress your carbs with other macronutrients. The mechanisms. Protein and fat. When you add protein, chicken, fish, eggs, tofu, and healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, nuts, to a carbohydrate-rich meal, you delay gastric emptying. Fats and protein slow down the rate at which food leaves your stomach and enters your small intestine for absorption. This results in a slower, more gradual release of glucose into the bloodstream. Stimulate insulin and glucagon. Protein triggers the release of both insulin and glucagon, which can help modulate the overall glucose response. Acidic foods. Acids like vinegar in vinaigrettes, lemon juice, and lactic acid in fermented foods like pickles and yogurt have a dual effect. They slow down the activity of the enzyme amylase, which is responsible for breaking down starch into sugar. Vinegar, in particular, has been shown to improve muscle insulin sensitivity and reduce glucose production in the liver. The game-changing strategy. Food order. This is one of the simplest yet most effective behavioral changes. By simply changing the sequence in which you eat the components of your meal, you could dramatically alter your metabolic response. In effective order. Starting with bread or juice, rapid digestion and a sharp glucose peak. Effective order. Start with vegetables and protein, followed by fats, and finish with carbohydrates. Why it works. The fiber from the vegetables and the protein/fat form a buffer in the stomach. When the carbohydrates eventually enter the mix, they are released into the intestines more slowly, leading to a gentler and slower absorption rate. Clinical trials have demonstrated a 40% lower glucose area under the curve and a 31% lower insulin area under the curve using this method. 3. Engage in postprandial movement, the science of muscular glucose disposal. Physical activity after a meal is uniquely powerful because your muscles are primed to absorb glucose without the need for significant amounts of insulin. This is known as non-insulin mediated glucose uptake.